And now for our next story, let us head over to Egypt where we'll be learning about the scariest haunted house you've ever heard of. You ready? Let's get into it. The haunted house in Mansoura, the beginning in the summer of 2018 for friends from Mansoura, Mahmoud, Kareem, Yasser, and Sarah decided to explore an abandoned house and film the experience for YouTube. Their goal was simple: create a viral haunted places video.
Ho, ho, ho!
And since there was a rumor going around that this abandoned home was haunted, the group thought it would be the perfect subject. As soon as they stepped inside, a heavy stench of mold and dust filled their lungs. The air inside was unnaturally cold, far colder than outside despite the summer heat. The walls were cracked and covered in strange symbols, stars, and writings in an old form of Arabic that none of them could understand.
Ho, ho, ho!
There were also what appeared to be blood stains covering some parts of the wall. Sarah noticed a wooden door at the end of a long hallway. As she walked toward it, she felt the floor trembling beneath her feet. She turned back and signaled to her friends that she wanted to go back, but the moment she did, the ground shook again, even more violent than before. Fearing for her safety, Mahmoud put his arm around her shoulder, and together they continued down the hall.
Ho, ho, ho!
He was filming the whole time. The red room, when they forced the door open, they found a small but eerie room. The walls were draped with dark red fabric, and in the center stood an old wooden chair bound with rusty chains. It looked less like a room and more like a place for rituals or torture. Sarah froze, whispering, "This house isn't normal."
Ho, ho, ho!
Something was done here. Yasser tried to joke to ease the tension, but before he could finish, they heard a loud bang from upstairs. They hurried up the staircase and found large mirrors fixed to the walls. But the reflections weren't right. Their images were blurred, and when Mahmoud leaned closer, his reflection didn't copy his movements. Instead, it grinned back at him with a twisted smile. At that instant, the door behind them slammed shut.
Ho, ho, ho!
Sarah screamed. "I saw someone running inside." The camera light began to flicker, and darkness swallowed the house, leaving only a faint glow coming from the mirrors. Then they heard chains dragging metal moans. A tall shadow darted through the rooms, moving faster than their eyes could follow. The ghost moved with unnatural swiftness, and after a while, the sound of its chains stopped abruptly.
Ho, ho, ho!
The group ran to the door and burst out onto the lawn, finding themselves bathed in bright moonlight. They ran away from the house as fast as they could, back at the safety of the car. They examined the video while watching it. They realized that there was a part where a dark shadow is seen standing in the corner of the room.
Ho, ho, ho!
Some say that these shadows are not ghosts, but it is difficult to deny that this video was taken on a day when there wasn't any cloud in the sky. So, how could a shadow have been cast? Moreover, many similar videos uploaded by other explorers have shown creepy shadows. Returning for answers, when they returned to the house the following day, it was in ruins. The roof had caved in and the windows were smashed.
Ho, ho, ho!
Still, they couldn't shake off the feeling that something was watching them. With their cameras at the ready, they explored the wreckage. The locals told them that the home once belonged to a wealthy Egyptian man. His wife and children had died under mysterious circumstances, and he himself had vanished without a trace. Many believed he'd buried his family in the house, and then when rumors spread, he fled. Was it true? And if so, where was the body?
Ho, ho, ho!
The four friends split up to cover more ground. Mahmoud and Kareem went inside the main hall, while Yasser and Sarah ventured to the upper floor. Inside the main hall, they discovered a secret passage concealed behind a bookcase. After pushing aside dusty books, The two men slipped through the opening and found themselves in a small basement. It was damp and dark, lit only by slivers of sunlight filtering through cracks in the ceiling.
Ho, ho, ho!
A musty smell hung in the air like a shroud. Yasser shone his flashlight around the room, revealing a large stone coffin resting in the corner. It seemed out of place in the cramped quarters, and they couldn't help but wonder why it was there. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet began to shake violently, sending tremors throughout the basement. Then, from the corner of his eye, Yasser saw something horrifying.
Ho, ho, ho!
The stone slab covering the coffin had risen slightly, as if some powerful force was trying to break free. Fear gripping his heart, Yasser scrambled back. But before he could react, the slab shot up, revealing a gaping hole. A low growl echoed from the darkness within, followed by a raspy voice that seemed to slither through the air. "Leave this place now." Terror-stricken, Yasser stumbled backward, tripping over loose floorboards.
Ho, ho, ho!
The voice boomed again, shaking the very foundation of the basement. "Get out, I warn you, or you'll regret it." A terrifying escape. Yasser stumbled back, bumping into Kareem, who shared his friend's horrified expression. Without a word, they bolted from the basement, making a mad dash for the stairs. They raced up the steps, not daring to look back.
Ho, ho, ho!
When they finally burst out of the front door, gasping for breath, the sky was overcast and a strong wind whipped around them. The atmosphere had shifted, heavy with foreboding. They piled into the car, each man lost in his own thoughts. No one spoke until they were safely away from the house.
Ho, ho, ho!
Back at home, as they huddled together watching the video, they discovered something terrifying. In nearly every scene, a pale woman in a white dress stood silently behind them. Her eyes were nothing but pitch-black voids. What was she? And why was she haunting their video? It was almost as if she wanted to drag them into her own world, into the abyss of her empty eyes.
Ho, ho, ho!
We're still in the final minutes of the video. The camera showed all four of them still inside the house, even though they were sure they had escaped. It was as if another version of them was still trapped inside. A week later, Sarah disappeared. Her family found her in front of the abandoned house, trembling and broken, repeating just one phrase, "Don't leave me with her." She wouldn't say anything else. Now, the house is abandoned.
Ho, ho, ho!
Locals claim that sometimes at midnight, when the moon is full, they can hear faint laughter echoing from within the dilapidated walls. Could the spirit of the woman might be luring visitors to her eternal home? Or is there something more sinister lurking in the shadows? What do you think happened to Sarah? Will we ever see her again? And what about the house? Should it be demolished? Let us know your thoughts. If you like this story, share it with your friends.
Ho, ho, ho!
Also, don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Ho, ho, ho!